Yo, what's up, guys?
What's up?
So, today, we have a story time.
Yeah.
So, it's about the time that we got an amusement park worker fired. Gone. This man got destroyed. So we're gonna call this dude, Jared. It's not his real name. But, anyway. So, it all starts off. Me, Milo,
Yes.
Anthony and Vinny and Joe. We're all at a park. And so we go there. It's an amusement park. It has like water slides. So we go there and then we're having a fun time, but then we go on the train and then
And then there's this guy, the train conductor, Jared. Yeah, and at first he seemed like pretty normal.
yeah, he was like conversating with us guys. He was like, "Hey, do you guys know the he's not like the train conductor. He's like the guy who sits in the back and like makes sure like people were like good, I guess."
Yeah.
Well, and he like said like, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, he's not the person who drives the train, but he was like, "Do you guys know the person who drives the train up there? Miss Greenson. That's not her name, but I don't even remember her name. And we're just like, oh yeah. Anthony had her as a teacher a couple years ago. So yeah, we're just conversating with Jared, but so we go on the train and then we go on the Confusion Hill. So I guess the train and the Confusion Hill people work both because after the train, we probably rode it like twice and then one on the Confusion Hill and we met him again. So we were like, oh, he works both. And then here.
Yeah. So Confusion Hill is like what's it called? Like confusing kind of. Like gravity is all weird and stuff. I mean, it's not that fun. But so we went in and Jared was the guy working there. And we thought he was chill, but he turns out.
Yeah, guys,
he
because keep in
wasn't.
mind, at the train he was still chill. But anyway, go.
Turns out he wasn't chill, and then so he had to like tell the story of what happened.
Yeah, of like the history of the building.
Yeah, and he was like, so do you guys? There was like a hotel, and he was like, do you guys know what the name of the hotel is? And I'll let you. Was it a hotel?
And so Anthony raises his hand, and he was like, I forget what he said, like the saloon or something. And then he's like, no, and then everyone started laughing. I was like, all right, well, that was not a bad guess, and he's like, no, and he's like, yeah, there was this restaurant. Anyone have a guess what the restaurant was called? So I raised my hand, and I'm like, Texas Roadhouse. And he's like, no. Anyone have a serious guess? And I'm like, bro, chill. Like, this man really doesn't have a sense of humor because, I mean, okay, it's like saying, I really do not like kids. So I'll go work in an amusement park. So I could just see kids all day. Because you know what kids love? Amusement parks. Like, bro. So, anyway, we're just walking through, right? And, really, so he'd have these little things, like potato. He'd be like, everyone say potato, and then Vinny wouldn't say it. And then he'd be like, you gotta say it or else we're not moving on. Like, okay, like, why do we have to say it? Can't we just move on, bro? Like, honestly. Yeah. And so, this is, he gets the idea that we're disrespectful, right? Keep in mind, me, Joe, Milo, Anthony hadn't said anything. Vinny was only being disrespectful. Like, dude, he wasn't even being that disrespectful. But anyway.
He just like wasn't saying those things, and like none of us really were. So then we went back on again, and there were these other kids with their parents.
Wait, okay, yeah, in the front.
What?
Okay. But that's not all for the first time. Because mostly it was just him yelling at Vinny because Vinny wasn't doing like the things that like everyone say potato or whatever. It was really just stupid. But anyway, so he has this. Like, the last room, there's, like, this chair sitting on the wall, and he's like, any volunteers to sit on the chair? And so this little kid raises his hand, and and so he gets to sit in the chair.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. This is funny.
And so, he gets to sit in the chair, right? And so, after he gets down, Jared is like, everyone give a clap for little Tommy. That's not his name. Keep in mind, guys, we don't use real names, even though I'm just freaking 99% sure they won't see this. But anyway, or even Jared won't see this. But whatever. Anyway, so I was kind of like not paying attention, just like daydreaming at the floor, because the room was like trippy. Because you can like lean back and not fall over because like gravity was weird. So I was like just like daydreaming, just thinking. I'm like, this is pretty lit. And then, so he's like, everyone give a clap for little Tommy. And then I'm just like staring off into space, not paying attention. And then here, just, because Milo already knows. So he's like, everyone give a clap for little Tommy. Yeah, little Tommy. And I'm just like, he's like, clap! And I'm like, chill. I'm like, bro, like he literally freaking screamed at me. That's our new meme, bro. Like, he literally just freaking screamed. I was like, bro, you gotta chill. But, anyway.
So, yeah, then we went back, and we went on it again. And as I said before, there was a parent there with her kids. And Jared thought we had all gone into the next room. But Nick stayed behind. Like,
oh yeah, I love this.
And Jared says to the parent, he's like, "This is my second time with these bratty kids." Like,
yeah, because he thought we were all in the room, but no, I was still walking into the room. So he's like, "This is my second time." I'm like, so I tell all of them that, and then so Milo's like, "What the heck, bro? We gotta troll this kid now, because he's gonna make fun of us like that." So yeah. So anyway, going from room to room, right? In the first room, it's like there's this like old bathtub or whatever, and then he like explains something about that, and then we go on to the next room. So we go on to the next room, and he's like, "All right, you guys can go on to the next room." So we went on, but him and the parent were like talking. All the kids went in the next room, including Anthony's dad. We went in the next room too. But so Jared. So Jared stayed behind, because there's a window between the room with the bathtub and the next room that he told us to go in, and then yet he stayed behind and told the parent. There's a window, so you could literally see through it. So, we just hear him, like, whispering, right? Once we looked over, because we were all talking in the next room, waiting for him to come over, right? So, we just look over, and we see him whispering, and then all of us go silent. We just like start looking at him, and then Anthony's like, we can see you, right? And then he just keeps talking, doesn't mind that, and we couldn't hear what he was saying. It's something obviously about us, because he was like in the room poking his head through the window, and then like talking about us. I could hear a little bit. I know he said something about us. I don't know what it was, but anyway.
Yeah. So then, you know how I said I would troll him? Well, we didn't actually really troll him.
Yeah, so don't think we're, like, disrespectful. And plus, if anything, he's the disrespectful one. This kid's, like... Actually, my sister said he goes to her high school.
Yeah.
Although he might have graduated. I don't know. This kid's, like, what, like... 18? And, like... Yeah, but anyway.
But, yeah, and then, this is, like, wow. So, we go into the last room with the chair, and, well, Vinny wanted to go in the chair, so he raised his hand first, but Jared doesn't call on him because he's one of those bratty kids, so he calls on this other kid instead, and that kid gets to sit on the chair. And Vinny's like, come on, can I please sit on the chair?
Yeah, because Vinny raised his hand first.
And Jared is like, alright, fine, you can sit on the chair, but only if you never come to this, to Confusion Hill again. I'm like...
Dude, that's like, dude. You can't just do that. Also, so, the joke that, like, how Milo was like, we need to troll him, the only thing that we did is he made, like, this stupid joke about, like, does anyone know why the Pepsi can rolled up? Obviously, because it, like, gravity is weird and who knows. He's like, anyone know why the Pepsi can rolled up? And he's like, because Milo just said, like, he wasn't even trying to be funny. He was just like, because Coke is better than Pepsi. And then he's like, no, be serious. And it, like gave him, like, or actually, I remember what he said. He was like, wow, you're so funny. Like, dude, whenever I say that, I mean no exaggeration, man. He said it just like that. He looked at Milo and he was like, wow, you're so funny. That was the best joke ever. Like, what's your problem, bro?
It's a joke.
And also, he like started leaning back, the first time, right? The first time we went in this ride, he like leaned back, and, on this, like, little, like, metal thing, and then he didn't do that, and he says, now normally I lean back on this metal thing, but not whenever I have a disrespectful audience, and looks at us.
Like...
Like, at this point, this guy has no chill. Because after that, he's like, oh, you can sit in the chair as long as you promise to never come back to this ride. Like, you're bribing a child, but, like, in, like, a very horrible way.
Yeah. So, we were like, well, this dude's calling us brats. He, had Vinny say, like, hey, you can't come back here again if you're sitting in the chair. So,
what we did is...
we, went up to the, what the heck is it called?
Just the place where you report.
Yeah, the place where you report things, get tickets, I don't know. Well, and we were like, so there's this worker,
and then we told him the whole story.
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, he shouldn't do that.
Yeah, like, guys, like, keep in mind, like, this full-grown adult was agreeing with us, like, that what he did was wrong. So, like, we're not disrespectful. Like, an adult that, you know, like, actually knows what they're talking about, like, agreed that was like, why would Jared do that? Like, that's mean. So, like, a full-grown adult, like, agreed with us that, like, what Jared did was wrong, and, like, called us brats, and, like, to another parent. Does he even have the right to do that? No, that's... dude. And, anyway, so they're like, alright, write down your address and your phone number. We're gonna call you to let you know once this all resolves. And Anthony texted and said he got fired. And I was like, nice. And... yeah, hold on. Anyway, guys, so... Anthony is like, yeah, that man got fired. I'm like, oh, that's what he deserves. Good.
And then, like, Vinny said he saw him, like, working at a bank or something. So
And that's not a lie, because he had picture proof. He came to my house, and he showed everyone. He was like, look, guys, it's Jared. He was working at the bank. So, got him fired from my... oh, yeah. We left out the part about the train after we reported him. So, we go back to the train after we report him, right? And we're like... and so we're like... so we go back to the train, guys, and we told him, we're like, we reported you, ha ha ha. And he's like, you guys really report me? Really? See, Vinny told him. Vinny, Milo, and Joe were sitting on the seat. And Vinny goes, we reported you. Because Vinny's a savage. And then he comes over to me and Anthony. And he's like, did you guys really report me? And at first we didn't want to tell him. We were like, we have no idea. And then after that, we were like tired of him. And then, but we'll put in the details. Hold on. And then after we left, we're like, but right before we left, we're like, oh yeah, we did report you, by the way. Anyway, I want to explain some details after we reported them and went on the train.
How about you do it? I forget exactly what happened.
Okay, so we're getting on the train, right? And we meet these guys, probably 17 to 19, and they're pretty chill, right? We told them about how Jared is a padilla bob.
Boy.
Yeah. and then, so then they see Jared, and then they're like kind of on our side, I think. Anyway, but Anthony says, he says to Jared, I forget what he said, but then Jared got Anthony in trouble by one of like the park, like, he wasn't like a park cop, but like
One of the employees, I guess.
it was someone. It didn't look like any. It was definitely like not a worker of a ride. But I forget what Anthony said, but he like gave Anthony consent to do something that like wasn't okay, I guess. And then Anthony said, "Could I do this on the ride?" And then he was like, yeah. And then so Anthony did it, and then so he got Anthony in trouble for that. I don't know what that is, like I said, but he was like, yeah, you guys can get in trouble for that. I'm trying to think. I don't know. But, yeah. We told him, we were like, have fun working at McDonald's, we reported you. And, yeah, guys, that's the story of how we got Jared fired. So, no more Jared. He has to work at the bank now. Ooh, Jared, learn your lesson.